कि आगे पार्टियों को एक होना है, एक करना है।
Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. This afternoon, the estranged Janata Parivar met and publicly expressed an intent to form a single united party. Mulayam Singh Yadav has been authorized to take the lead in this regard. But can this venture succeed? Does anything more than shared opposition to the BJP bind them together? And even if they pull it off, how much punch will they deliver? My guests are JDU MP Pavan Verma, Samajwadi Party representative Gaurav Bhatia, the chairman of APCA Badshah Sen, and the executive editor of Headlines Today, Javed Ansari. Badshah Sen, this afternoon the different parties of the former Janata Dal met. They've publicly expressed their intent to form a single united political party, and they've authorized Mulayam Singh to take the lead. Do you believe this is achievable, or do you think this is just an expression of intent?
No, I think this is achievable. How long it will last is a separate issue. It will be achieved at one way or the other. The astrological signs are good in the sense Lalu Prasad Yadav has knocked himself out of the leadership race because he's been
the courts did that for him.
Yes, the courts did that for him. So therefore there is a sort of propitious moment where you have Nitish Kumar, potential leader from Bihar, and you have Mulayam Singh Yadav, and you have the other thing, a matrimonial alliance between Mulayam Singh's nephew and Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughter.
This is sounding like Elizabethan or Tudor England.
But there is no guarantee. This is no guarantee.
Marriages can end in divorce.
Yes, there will be a squabbling. And no, ultimately it will probably collapse. But there will be a period of time where they will get together.
Are these different political parties, Javed Ansari, coming together because in addition to a common past, they also have a shared ideology? Or is this just political expediency because they have only one thing in common, fear of the BJP, and uniting is the best way of opposing the BJP?
Karan, as always, the truth lies somewhere in between. It's a combination of all these factors. Survival instinct, a common past, and perhaps they realize that if they don't band together, then the only option is oblivion. So therefore, they are all getting together. But like Badshah said, and if the past is anything to go by, then it seems there are huge question marks over the durability, on how long they will last. Look what happened when the Janata Party was formed. Look what happened when Janata Dal was formed, when United Front was formed, National Front was formed, and then, so therefore the history doesn't lend itself to great optimism. However, survival instinct will propel them, will force them to come together. How long they last is the big question that needs to be answered.
Gaurav Bhatia, I'll come to the question of your longevity and whether you will actually last for years and decades or whether this is just going to be a little bubble later on. Because let's not come to the downside to begin with. Let me look at something that you believe is a positive. It's said that Mulayam Singh Yadav will be the leader. And I ask you, why not Nitish Kumar? In the public eye, Nitish Kumar is thought to be a much more successful chief minister. And remember, Mulayam Singh Yadav never finished a full 5-year term, even though he was chief minister on 3 separate occasions. So why not Nitish Kumar instead?
Karan, I think you are a great anchor. And your question is, specially posed to me so that, I get into this trap of yours, which I will not. I think Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, Mr. Nitish Kumar and everyone who was present there are very tall leaders. And that is the point which we are trying to make, that if the ideology of secularism and socialism and the ideology that we oppose of communal politics of BJP can bring us together, and together we are a formidable opponent, even the BJP knows that, I think it's a very welcoming sign. Okay. Second thing is that this is not a temporary arrangement for an election that is forthcoming. This is about merger of political parties so that they have one identity and they can work together to give an alternate to the communal politics of BJP. Thirdly, if the parties come together and they have a national stature, but they are also recognized as a national political party, that also has a lot of advantages, like a common symbol, like a platform, and there are other things that you get. So I think, you know, all this would drive this front, and what we have seen is BJP doesn't like a strong opposition, and this front is there now to give that strong opposition to the BJP. It's the ideology which is driving us. It is not the hunger for power that is bringing all these tall leaders together, and that, I think, is the essence of this new formation that is coming in.
Pavan Verma, I heard the answer that I got from Gaurav Bhatia. But I'm going to be naughty and come back to this question of leadership, because at the end of the day, leadership is what Indian politicians are looking for. They very rarely worry about ideology. Now, it's not just at the national level that I'm raising questions about Mulayam Singh Yadav. Even in Bihar, your own party men and Lalu Yadav's party men are raising questions about who's going to be the chief ministerial candidate when you go to the polls next year. Will it be Nitish Kumar, or could it be, should it be perhaps someone from the RJD? Because that's another problem you haven't sorted out.
Karan, leadership questions arise when there is a raison d'etre for existence that you build up. Right now, we have to see whether we can build a strong democratic opposition in India. It's essential for democracy.
I like the use of the word whether.
We are not about to go away to Pakistan as one central minister would like us.
I like the use of that word whether. It was very appropriate.
We are not going to go away to Pakistan. Thank you. As one central minister would like us, nor are we going to begin to question our paternity as another minister would like us. We are here to stay. We are Watanzade. We will fight here, and to do so, we must be able to reinforce our strength. And we have understood that if we are divided, our chances of succeeding as a credible and effective opposition becomes correspondingly lower. Now, the only important point I want to stress here is that this grouping must not repeat the mistakes of the past and give to itself a framework of credible ideology based, as we believe now, on good governance as defined by inclusive growth and religious and social harmony, which we believe
you
are
sound like Mr. Modi suddenly.
For this country.
Are you borrowing his clothes?
I think there is an ideological.
They say flattery is the highest form of imitation, or rather they say it the other way around. But is that a compliment you're paying Mr. Modi when you say that good governance will be the first feature of your ideology?
I don't believe Mr. Modi has monopoly rights on good governance, and the way he is exercising it now raises very serious questions. We cannot go back to the Shining India syndrome. There is a vast swathe of India where the fruits of development must reach. You cannot have any governance at all with religious and social discord. These are very important issues, Karan.
I agree.
You need to have in a country like India democratic opposition. So and Karan, I must say, if you have to ask me something, could you do it in the next 5 minutes? I have an unavoidable commitment. I just cannot get away.
Absolutely. Don't worry. I'd fully understand. I can understand in the face of the skepticism about the Janata Parivar uniting to form a lasting party, you might well have an unavoidable commitment that takes you away. I would fully understand you're wanting to cut and run in the circumstances. Let me put it like this. Before the national elections in 2019...
No, Karan, it's not at all. It's not. Let me clarify. I could stay and discuss it with you for 1 hour. But it's not at all, because I can answer all questions and I promise to do them with conviction. There is no prevarication here. This is an essential step.
Then give me a moment to come back to you. Let me go to the other guest first and I'll come back to you in a moment's time. Pacha Sen, before the national elections in 2019, there are state elections in Bihar next year. There are going to be elections in UP in 2017. And those are the first big tests this united party, if it's formed, will have to face. Now, after the BJP in the Lok Sabha won with its allies 73 seats out of 80 in UP, 31 out of 40 in Bihar, what hope does this alignment, if it comes to be, have of defeating the BJP?
Well, you see, the point is in both places, in both Bihar and UP, I don't know whether it will make such an impact in the sense that there isn't a presence of the RJD in UP, and likewise not much of a presence of the Samajwadi Party in Bihar.
And both face anti-incumbency in respective states.
And both face anti. But the point is, there is a thing which we know called the index of opposition unity. It's a phrase used by psephologists. Now the index of opposition unity earlier used to coalesce around anti-Congress forces. This time around, it is likely it will coalesce around anti-BJP forces. And mind you, the BJP, I know it's an excuse, only got 31% vote share in that election.
So if the other 60 can get together,
it may not be the other 60, maybe even another 40. You know, it would make a bit of a difference.
The problem still is that even if they do get together, even if they work out an ideological platform on which they can cohere, this country has begun voting for leaders. Prime ministerial elections will become pretty presidential, and they've been that way not just for Mr. Modi, they were in that way even when Indira Gandhi was there. Now, their leader in 2019 will be nearly 80 years old. That's the age Mulayam Singh will be. In a country where 65% are below 35, are we going to vote for a party led by an 80-year-old man, particularly when the others in the party will be, this is it, Deva Gowda will be 86, Chautara will be 84, Lalu will be a sprightly 71, and Nitish 68. The Hindustan Times today called them aging warriors. In 2019, will we vote for aging warriors rather than a younger Modi?
If this is how things will be, then it will be a no contest. But they have it in themselves. They have a leader in their midst. He has a track record. He's on the right side of 60. He could perhaps pose a challenge. His track record is as enviable as that of Mr. Narendra Modi as Chief Minister. And therefore, the Bihar and the leadership question will be the real test. And I don't agree with Bacha. I think if there is a state where they can form a bulwark and stop the BJP, it is Bihar. They did, Congress, RJD and JDU banded together and they got the better than in the by-elections. So Bihar is the case. Bihar is where they have the most chance of being successful, not so much in UP and certainly not so much in Karnataka.
Gaurav Bhatia, I want to go back to your claim that this is not just about UP, it's not just about Bihar, it's about providing a national opposition. And I agree with you that the country needs a national opposition and needs it for its own democratic good. But the states that truly, and the parties that truly are holding up the advance of the BJP are the AIADMK, the BJD and the TMC. None of those are joining with you and none of them are likely to do so. In their absence, isn't your new formed party horribly weak?
Absolutely not, Karan. I think all these parties are very effective in their regions, and we are talking about UP, Bihar, Haryana, Karnataka. If you put all of them together, they constitute 1/3 of the parliament. And please also keep in mind that if all these parties can come together, and when it is evident to other regional parties who share our ideology, I am sure that it would get bigger from here. And that would be the time when BJP would be worried. It's a good start. A month back, I saw all the channels and they were saying that all these parties can't come together and sing their differences. After a month, we have seen that many steps have been taken in the right direction. All the leaders came together and chose Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav as the leader to, coordinate and to ensure all formalities are done. So I think there are a lot of welcoming signs from these meetings, and the apprehensions of the media and the general public have been addressed. It inspires confidence, and in the future there is scope to get bigger and stronger.
That's the point I want to take up with you, Pavan Verma. In the future, there is scope to get bigger and stronger. It's a point that Nitish Kumar at his press conference today said that, in fact, he's very hopeful that others are going to join you. But my question is, who? I can't see anyone of any consequence waiting, leave aside wanting to join you. Who's there that you're hoping will ally with you?
Karan, this is first of all a getting together of the constituents of the erstwhile Janata Parivar. The fact that their first experience was short-lived cannot be quoted in perpetuity against future attempts, because there is a cranium and people learn lessons and respond to new situations.
The first three were short-lived, not just the first one. The first three were short-lived.
Challenge.
You're forgetting. Janata Party was short-lived, Janata Dal was short-lived, United Front was short-lived. Longevity has been against you.
Indeed, I'm saying that history is not written in stone, and I don't believe that there are politicians who never learn lessons from the past. So my hope is that this time we have, and my hope further is that we can give to this union a credible ideological framework which is able to correspond to what people are feeling now. We give voice to the people.
You know, you're using very interesting words, Pavan Verma. Can I interrupt? You're being very honest when you keep saying my hope is. A hope is a wish list. A hope is an aspiration. And what you're suggesting is this coming together is just an aspiration. It lacks the hard-rooted reality and credibility of a fully functioning political party. In your honesty, you may have given the game away.
No, Karan, one of your problems is that although you mean well, you read too much without fully understanding actually what I said. I said if a party has not yet been formed, you can only hope that it will.
I know. When you hope that it will, you're suggesting it may not.
Mr. Mulayam Singh has been Mr. Mulayam Singh has been given the task of working out the modalities of it. I remain confident, speaking on behalf of my party and knowing what the other parties are saying, that this time, this attempt towards unity is likely to bear fruit. But at this stage, I can only hope that it does.
Can I point out to you one of the problems? Have you forgotten in 1997, when Deva Gowda was handing over to Gujral, it was Lalu Prasad Yadav who scuttled Mulayam Singh's chances of becoming Prime Minister? It's something that Mulayam may have wished to forget. I doubt if he's forgiven in his heart. Those are the sort of problems you'll keep facing.
History. Karan, I want to just say one sentence because after this you will allow me to leave. Just as we cannot ignore history, let us not become prisoners of history. Let's not be mesmerized in perpetuity by the past.
Okay.
We are in the current situation. There are new challenges. You learn lessons from the past. You know you've got to reinvent yourself. And I believe that is what we are setting out to do when there is an actual need for an opposition which is strong enough to exist.
I accept your words. Let's not be prisoners of history, but let's not fall into the trap of being beguiling fools and believe that hope and dreams can be realized. That could be equally dangerous. And let me put this to you, Badshah Sen. What would happen to this noble venture, and I use that word deliberately and advisedly, this noble venture, if they end up losing the elections in Bihar next year, which they could, and if they end up losing the elections in UP in 2017, which they could, then will they survive?
I don't know. I think that the motivation which drives the Janata Parivar is somewhat different. I mean, it's not necessarily only grabbing power. It's they seem to be much better at opposing than actually governing. I mean, certainly at the center, that's been the case. The point remains is, it's not ideological differences which throw them apart. It's not ideological agreement which brings them together. It's a question of individual personalities, and there what you're talking about, the leadership stakes, I think they fall out because each one is the chief. There's no followers. They're all chiefs. They're all leaders. They all want to be the leader. Mulayam Singh is the present one. Maybe by the time he's in his 80s, as you said, they will find he'll be the grand old man of this alliance. There may be a younger prime ministerial candidate. As Javed said, Nitish Kumar is definitely...
He'll be 68 as well at that time.
Yeah, he'll be 68, but Mr. Modi will not be very much younger than that.
Mr. Modi will be pretty close to 68.
So they'll be sort of competing with each other. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they have to. The only way history will not condemn them, because they haven't read it obviously, is if they work out I don't know how, a modality which ensures that the leadership question is decided in a formal and democratic fashion rather than factual.
Okay. That is a question for the future. A question for now, and this is another level at which this hope and aspiration, as I keep calling it, will be tested, is how much of a problem the combined opposition can create for Mr. Modi over the next 2 years, the next 3 years in the Lok Sabha, where their numbers are minuscule, or in the Rajya Sabha, where they're somewhat greater? Can their coming together change the nature of the opposition Mr. Modi has to contend with? Or will Mr. Modi simply say, it makes no difference to me, and mean it?
Well, in the Lok Sabha, it will not make a difference. But what will certainly change is the decibel levels. You will have a more vigorous and vociferous opposition, especially in the Rajya Sabha. But their success will depend, one, for them staying united, and two, working in tandem with the TMC, with the BJD, and with the Congress Party. Because the Congress Party is the single largest in the Rajya Sabha. It's 60 plus, and therefore even all of them put together they'll have to dovetail their efforts.
Will they have to defer to Congress to get Congress cooperation?
I don't think so. Those days are over where people will defer to the Congress Party. The Congress will also have to be extremely flexible. Both sides, if they work together, they can make life difficult in the Rajya Sabha. If they don't, then it's cakewalk for Mr. Modi.
Gaurav Bhatia, let me put this to you, and this may well have to be the last question on this particular story tonight. The best you can hope to achieve is some sort of broad front alliance with Congress and the left, and then hope that this greater spread will be a check on Mr. Modi. Does that satisfy your ambitions?
I think, the positive signs are visible because people have, at least in the panel also, started discussing the idea of a prime minister from this new front. And this is what we are also talking about, that the aspirational India today is wanting development, but not at the cost of sacrificing the secular principles. And it seems with the BJP government, it is more about development at the cost of communal politics. So I think this front can come as a formidable force, and we saw it in the by-polls in Bihar, where the Congress, JDU and RJD came together and virtually decimated the BJP. In the by-polls in UP also we saw that BJP could not even hold on to the BJP bastion and lost 9 out of 12 assembly seats. So the idea is that we can tell the people that here is a strong, formidable opponent, and it is at a national level with people who are glued with ideology and are not power hungry.
All right, you can have the last word tonight. After all, it's your future that we're talking about. It's only right that you should be the last to comment on it. My thanks to you for joining me. My thanks also to Pavan Verma, who clearly had to disappear to a very important dinner. Let's hope he's having an excellent meal instead. And my thanks to both of you for joining me here in studio. There we end this particular show tonight. We have been. Thanks for watching.